Our 18th post-cabinet press briefing for 2025. Allow me to invite our chairperson of the session, Honorable Minister Dr. Mswere, to present today's cabinet highlights. Over to you, Minister.
Thank you, Chief Secretary Dr. Martin Rushwaya. Members of the Fourth Estate, today, the 24th of June 2025, His Excellency the President Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa chaired the 18th Cabinet meeting, and the following issues, among others, were considered and approved. Cabinet noted the update on the 2024-2025 summer crops marketing and the 2025 winter wheat production program. As the transformational program of the Second Republic continued to bear fruit, the nation is projected to record a grain surplus of approximately 812,000 metric tons. This projection is based on an anticipated cereal reserve of 3.01 million metric tons, comprising an expected harvest of 2.9 million metric tons and an existing reserve of 83,526 metric tons against an annual grain requirement of 2.2 million metric tons. In order to ensure optimal support to the agricultural sector, resources will continue to be availed to the Grain Marketing Board in order to facilitate timeous payments for grain deliveries by farming communities. Grain marketing will also continue to be conducted through multiple channels, including the Grain Marketing Board, the Zimbabwe Mercantile Exchange, and the direct sales to various agro-processors. In addition, the warehouse receipt system is active with a 2025 intake of 4,000 metric tons of cereals, oilseeds, and pulses realized to date. The 2025 cotton marketing season commenced on the 9th of June with approximately 311,000 kilograms marketed to 7 contractors to date. In tobacco marketing, a significant milestone has been achieved, with a total sales record surpassing the 300 million kilogram target set under the Tobacco Value Chain Transformation Plan to reach 309 million kilograms. This represents a 45.65% increase in volume compared to the 209 million kilograms sold in 2024, and therefore sales also continue to be conducted. Regarding the wheat production, over 122,142 hectares have been planted to date, exceeding the initial target of 120,000 hectares. The government of Zimbabwe continues to monitor key enablers to guarantee the achievement of an anticipated production of 600,000 metric tons of wheat from the 2025 season. Currently, barley planting stands at 6,115 hectares, achieving a 94.1% of the 6,500 hectare target. Meanwhile, 4,512 hectares of potatoes have been planted against a target of 8,000 750 hectares. Cabinet considered and noted the Zimbabwe Artificial Intelligence Readiness Assessment Report. Zimbabwe is one of the 6 countries in Africa selected and sponsored by UNESCO to take part in piloting the UNESCO recommendation in deploying artificial intelligence technologies and addressing the ethical risks in deploying artificial intelligence, leveraging on the innovative readiness assessment methodology tool. Zimbabwe adopted the UNESCO recommendation on ethics of artificial intelligence in November 2021. The recommendation provides an internationally agreed set of principles and comprehensive guidance to policymakers on ensuring that this game-changing technology benefits society and protects citizens against the associated risks. A diagnosis of the national artificial intelligence landscape has been provided, marking a significant milestone in Zimbabwe's journey towards harnessing artificial intelligence's transformative potential for enhancing socio-economic development. The thematic areas that were used to assess the artificial intelligence readiness of countries utilizing the UNESCO tool included the legal, social, cultural, scientific, educational, economic, technical, and infrastructural dimensions. The ethical integration of artificial intelligence technologies in government, business, and citizens' operations and transactions is this 4th industrial revolution, which is very key in terms of economic development. Cabinet considered the report on the drug and substance abuse for the period the 12th of March 2025 to the 2nd of June 2025. Regarding the update on the supply reduction pillar, the Criminal Investigations Department received 5 drones from the Ministry of Local Government and Public Works for surveillance purposes at border posts. 41 drug kingpins were named and shamed during the period, and individuals were sentenced to custodial terms ranging from 12 months to 15 years in prison. A cumulative 206 raids were conducted nationwide, leading to the dismantling of 39 illicit drug bases and arrests of 1,445 suspects. The Liquor Licensing Board inspected 461 premises, 429 of which were licensed. The 32 premises that were found to be unlicensed were each fined. Government is fully aware that economic empowerment programs play a pivotal role in transforming young citizens to be productive in order to avoid drug and substance abuse. In this regard, the Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training reached out to 212,000 youth through awareness campaigns and empowerment programs that included youth development, leadership, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. 17,349 youths were empowered through programs such as fish farming, the Mbire Goat Project, the Presidential Youth Empowerment Scheme, and financial literacy training through the Empower Bank and Tanganyika Trust. His Excellency the President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, handed over tipper trucks and equipment which were purchased under the Presidential Youth Fund to young entrepreneurs aimed at expanding businesses in sectors such as construction, mining, and transport. In another milestone development, 1,907 youths graduated under the youth service in Zimbabwe, while 1,844 inclusive of 70 survivors of the drugs and substance platform are undergoing training. The line ministries carried out campaigns against drug and substance abuse as follows. The Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, reaching out to more than 1 million pupils. The Ministry of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, engaging in 25,000 young people. And the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development. While 305 youths benefited from green jobs, in addition to cattle and thousands of chicks, and 890,000 fingerlings were distributed by the Ministry of Lands and Agriculture under the Presidential Economic Empowerment Scheme targeting the youth. Under the legislative program, Cabinet considered and approved the following: the ratification of the SADC Protocol on Employment and Labor. Cabinet considered and approved for the ratification of the SADC Protocol on Employment and Labor. The SADC Protocol was signed on the 17th of August 2024 at the SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government and aims at promoting decent work, establishing fair labor standards, coordinating labor laws across the region, driving job creation, enhancing migration worker rights and social security, combating child labor, and working towards regional integration through harmonized labor policies. The protocol emphasizes on the recognition of basic human rights, particularly those that link with labor laws and the domestication of international labor obligations. Cabinet considered and approved for the ratification of Convention 187, the promotional framework for occupational safety and health. Convention 187 provides for occupational health and safety and mitigating the effects of occupational injuries on productivity as well as on socio-economic development. The major objectives of the convention are to promote continuous improvement of occupational safety and health, to prevent injuries, diseases, and death by developing a national policy, national system, and national programs to achieve progressively a safe and healthy working environment, and to periodically consider measures to be taken to ratify relevant occupational safety and health conventions of the International Labour Organization. Cabinet noted the report on the third United Nations Oceans Conference, which was held in France from the 9th to the 13th of June 2025. The third United Nations Oceans Conference took place under the theme Accelerating Action and Mobilizing All Actors to Conserve and Sustainably Use the Ocean. The conference centered on key issues including ocean governance, conservation and sustainable use of marine resources, inclusion and financing for development. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for presenting today's cabinet highlights. Let us move to the first round of 3 questions, then we will ask ministers to respond, and we move to the second and last round again of 3 questions. Over to you, colleagues.
I will ask you, Murwira will ask about agriculture. Honorable Minister of ICT, I want to know what specific steps is the government taking to implement the ethical guidelines set forth by UNESCO in the context of AI? Also, will Zimbabwe developing a regulatory framework to oversee AI applications? And if so, what key ethical considerations will it include? Lastly, Honorable Minister, how does Zimbabwe plan to address concerns about data privacy and security in the deployment of AI technologies?
Yes, thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, Chief Secretary. My name is Ameda Mura from the Road. My question is directed to Dr. Masuka about cotton marketing Honorable Minister, one of the challenges that has been perennially present on cotton marketing is the effectiveness of electronic payment on cotton delivered. Most farmers in remote areas do not have bank accounts for them to receive the money, thus leaving them to the temptation of side marketing. My question is, what effective measures has been put in place by government to ensure that farmers receive the money and they don't resort to side marketing arising from bottlenecks on the weakness on the electronic payment where they don't have bank accounts? I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I think we have enough questions for the ministers to respond.
Thank you, Chief Secretary. The first three questions are to Honorable Tatenda Mavetera on artificial intelligence, the ethics, the concerns, the data security, data protection. Over to you, Honorable Minister Mavetera.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Let me thank Mr. Mkudze for those questions, which are very, very pertinent. He asked about what we have done as government in terms of our ethical considerations, what exactly have we done? And secondly, he then asked about what we can then be able to do in terms of our data privacy. I think in a nutshell, that's what you have asked. And I really want to ask you in terms of that. Definitely we need to promote transparency for us to be quite effective in the adoption of artificial intelligence. And what we have done as government in terms of data privacy, we have got, currently we have our Cyber and Data Protection Act, which we believe we are now coming up with an ICT strategy, which we have done as government. So this is going to outlay what we need to do in terms of making sure that at least we have got the requisite infrastructure for us to make sure we are protected as a country. Secondly, we also need to invest in terms of our skill set. It's a matter of us being able to upskill, reskill, and skill our workforce as government. And we need, again, to also work towards just making sure that we create a lot of awareness. This is quite important so that at least we are very much geared up in terms of the data privacy. Then in terms of the AI applications and the ethical use, definitely we can never be able to create any policy which does not speak to our own Zimbabwe. We need to couch whatever it is that we need to come up with in line with our own context, with our own cultural perspective, look at what we do as Zimbabweans, which also suits to us. I remember at one point in time, we had Elon Musk saying that he's going to create robots that will be producing babies. And this was quite a scare for a lot of people in Zimbabwe. So this is where we need to come up from. If we're talking about ethical considerations, definitely as Zimbabwe, we need to create an AI policy which is in line with our own context as Zimbabwe. When we say the same with artificial intelligence, it has to be built within our own context as Zimbabwe. So all I can say is definitely plans are underway. The RAM report is going to inform us as we come up with the artificial intelligence strategy. It is going to inform us in terms of the economic, like what we said, that we've got the economic issues that need to be addressed, the educational issues, how do we need to increase in terms of our human capital, the infrastructure, where are we lagging behind, what needs to be done, if it needs us to invest in our data centers, it needs us to also invest even in at least a robust computer specifications. So all I can say is definitely as Zimbabwe, we are geared up and we are happy that we were selected as part of the top 6 countries by UNESCO, and we are happy that at least as Zimbabwe we are ready to go. We have been approved to be able to, we've been assessed and approved that at least we are ready for us to adopt artificial intelligence. So all we need to do is just to make sure that we're in line with all the scientific regulations, social cultural regulations, all that, so that at least we are aligned. I so submit. Thank you.
Honorable Mavetera, the second set is to Honorable Dr. Anxious Masuka on side marketing and financial inclusion. To you, Dr. Masuka.
Thank you, Chair, and I thank the questioner for the very important question relevant to the development of the cotton sector. As we've previously said, as government, cotton is an important agent for rural transformation and for the attainment of the President's vision 2030 of becoming a prosperous and upper middle income society. So it is in this vein that when we do regulate the cotton sector through the Agricultural Marketing Authority, we regulate the sector for growth. So that's critical. So the transformation to regulating for growth. And in that regulating for growth, there must be financial inclusivity. It is in this context that AMA has established over 600 buying points, and we call them common buying points because all the 7 contractors are obligated in terms of statute to purchase at this common buying point, which is carefully selected by AMA for accessibility and also to ensure that those payment platforms will see business in transacting with the 500,000 or so families that are engaged in cotton production, and to avoid, of course, side marketing. So as you regulate for growth, you carefully select these sites, you bring everyone, the 7 contractors to one place, you entice various platforms that are able to provide electronic payment to farmers so that there is competition, hopefully transaction costs come down and everyone is included. But side marketing is a cancer. And you will recall that in the 2014-2015 season, this is almost collapsed the cotton sector, and government is trying to work to re-establish confidence within the cotton contracting system by eliminating side marketing. So wherever this occurs and at whatever level, we must ensure that this is eliminated. It's not just by growers. And I think the tendency has been thinking that a grower with 1 or 2 bales might be responsible for side marketing. We actually have seen intra-company side marketing, and it's something that we also would like to eliminate. But wherever you hear of an attempt to side market, please let us know so that we can investigate and ensure that the strategy that we are setting out for the growth of the cotton industry is fully implemented for the attainment of our vision.
Let us move to the last round. Again, 3 questions, if they are there, and then we'll ask ministers to respond. Any further questions, observations, or clarifications? Honourable Ministers, we've come to the end of today's sessions. I think our colleagues are satisfied with the responses that they got. Thank you very much. We'll meet next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.